Hi guys, welcome back to Grandma K Style, where we talk about everything makeup, skincare, and style for us mature women. Please stay tuned for part 2 of my very chatty Get Ready with Me. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you can be ready for all of my future videos. I always start with a base color, and if you want to do a eyeshadow primer, you can. I like this one from Thrive Cosmetics, and basically any primer or even concealer. I've got this whole drawer full of concealers. If you have a lot of discoloration in your eyelids or really dark veins, I know a lot of people have really strong red lines that make it look almost like they have pink eyeliner on. If you have any of that and you feel the need to cover it up, don't spend a ton of money on eyeshadow primer. The Thrive one is a little pricey. I've heard that the Milani Cosmetics one is amazing, so that one's good. But you can always just use all of these concealers that you've picked up and aren't using as concealers. You can use those as eyeshadow primers, and they cover up perfectly, and then you have a great base for your eyeshadow. I'm not going to use one today. I don't have a ton of veining. I have a little bit, but with the color story I'm using today, I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to go into this lightest color in this palette here, and I like to, I always tap it off, because the one thing about the little bit lower end products is sometimes they have more fallout, and you don't want it all out under there, but if you tap it, then you're pretty good. And I just go in there, and I like to put a base on my whole lid. I feel like it helps everything blend a little bit better. So I go all the way up. Also, if you notice, I'm not doing the swipe, I'm kind of pushing and tapping it in. And that's because I do have loose skin in my eyelid. And when you swipe, you tend to fold that skin over, and then you'll end up with spots that don't have any shadow on them, and then you'll have to go back and forth. But if you just kind of tap and squish it in, then you don't have to worry about that. So I am going to put that all over my lid. Okay, now we have a good base. If you have hooded eyes like I do, and that mine, some people's hooded eyes are because the skin folds over. My hooded eyes are because this bone is very prominent. I have a super prominent bone, so it folds over. When you have hooded eyes, for whatever makes them hooded, the rule is that dark colors make things recede, light colors make them come out. So the one thing you don't ever want is the light color on that part, because it will make it more prominent instead of less prominent. So you're going to pick a darker color from your palette. Some people call it a transition color. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. But I'm going to pick over here this sort of medium dark gray. I'm going to pick that color. And you don't put it in the crease if you have hooded eyes, because that's already receded. You don't need to make it recede more. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. You go straight into the crease. With eyes like mine, and maybe yours, you don't want to be in the crease with this color. You want to be up here on this bone. So do it with your eyes open and looking straight forward so that you can see where that bone is. If you close your eye, everything moves and you don't know where it is. And most of the day, you're not going to walk around with your eye closed. That's not how people look at you. They look at you with your eyes open. So do your makeup with your eye open and put it on that bone right there with your eye open. And this part of my eye is not super loose, so I can do the swipe here. If yours is looser, then again, if you want to do the tap, then that might work better. Or the other thing that works really well is circles. So if you go from this inner spot right here and you circle out, I have a lot of real estate right here, so I will tend to go a little bit higher with this color just to help shadow some of that out a little bit. And then do the same thing on the other side. And that just helps that bone recede just a little bit. Now, if these colors were super pigmented and dark, then I would want to blend them out a little bit. And I love this It brush. It's got the little end and then the big end. I use this big end as just a blending buffer brush. I don't feel like I need to right this minute, but we'll get there in a sec. The next thing I want to do is darken just the outer corner of my eye. So I'm going to go into this darkest purpley gray right here. And again, you want everything to lift as you get older. So we're not going to put it really low. I'm not going to go all the way to the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to go in just a little bit. And I'm going to put it right here and then go up at an angle, sort of like a little parallelogram over here in the edge. And then I'm going to go just a little bit up here on this bone. And now I am going to blend that in. So I'm going to use the blender side of my brush and blend that out. Can you see how it's just subtle? I'm not going super dark. This is not date night makeup. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Make like a little parallelogram over here on the side, not all the way to the corner. And then up on the bone just a little bit. And blend that out. Awesome. And then I am not a heavy eyeliner person. I also feel like heavy eyeliner, especially on the bottom, drags your eyes down. So I will just take a little bit of the gray color and I'll go underneath right along the lash line and not all the way, because circling your eyes with eyeliner makes them look smaller. I want my eyes to look bigger. So I'm just going to go maybe 2/3 of the way and not go to the inner corner. And I'm going to do the other side the same way. Just a little bit. And that is it for eyeshadow. If you feel like you get something a little bit too heavy, I love these little angled brushes. And sometimes I'll use that just to clean up this line a little bit. There we go. Now, I have never in my life worn eyeliner on top. Part of the reason is I feel like it makes my eyes look smaller, and the other part of the reason is because my eyelid skin is very loose right there. I feel like the line never looks right. But I learned something that probably everybody already knew but me, and that is called tightlining. For tightlining, you need a waterproof mascara because, I'm sorry, not mascara, a waterproof eyeliner, because it will transfer if you don't have waterproof. And tightlining is going just up under in this little water line right up on top. I remember in the 80s we did the black liner in our waterline on the bottom. Yeah, don't do that. No, not good. But if you want a tight line on top, it does just help give you a little more definition. Again, I only go about 2/3. And it works better if you kind of close your eyelid. It helps you not blink. So you just go about maybe 2/3 of the way. I'll do the other side. It helps if you try not to look at the liner, otherwise I start blinking like crazy. All right, so that is all the liner that we're going to use. And now mascara. Mascara is my favorite. It's the one thing that I have always used. And when I'm filming or I want to look special, I use Mascara Primer. This is, again, a little sample size that I got from Sephora. It's a Lancome, but I also have the L'Oreal Voluminous that you can get at the grocery store. It works just as well. Honestly, it does. But the good thing with the Mascara Primer is it helps give you a little bit more volume and length without having to cake on the mascara. And it's white so you can see it going on. So just do one eye and then the other eye and then do your mascara. You don't want to, I got my long hair stuck in here. What you don't want to do is wait too long and let this dry completely, or go too quickly and try to put wet mascara over super wet primer. So the timing seems about perfect if you just do one eye and then the other eye and then go in with your mascara. I'm going to use, actually, my two favorites right now. One is drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Unlimited. This is the best mascara that I've ever found. And right up next to it is this Lancome. This is the Idol. They're probably fairly even, but the Lancome is definitely more pricey than the L'Oreal Unlimited. I think I'm going to use the L'Oreal today. So I am going to go in with this L'Oreal, and I always buy the blackest black. I don't really see the point in brown mascara, but if brown looks good on you, that is fine. Use it. It's weird, even though I'm blonde hair, blue-eyed, and I have been my entire life, my lashes and eyebrows have never been light, so I don't have the blonde lashes. So that is just one coat of mascara over primer. And that's probably all I'm going to use. If I go back for a second coat of mascara, I will usually only do the outer, these guys over here, these outer lashes, and just try to get a little more length on those. So I might go in and kind of tip those a little bit with a second coat. Otherwise, one coat, that's it. I'm good. If you like the look of bottom lash mascara, which I do, even though a lot of people tell you that older women should not put mascara on the bottom because it accentuates that under eye area that you don't like. But if you do, like I do, I love this Maybelline Lash Discovery for the bottom lashes because it's got this teeny tiny little spoolie brush and it's like the perfect size. because I don't know about you guys, but my eyes have gotten more blinky and twitchy as I've gotten older. And when I get up in there, sometimes I'll blink with the bigger spoolie and I get it all over myself. So this tiny little one gets right in here and it doesn't make me blink or twitch. And it gets all the little lashes that are in there. And that's that. Now we are done with the eyeballs. Now remember I told you guys I'd never even heard of contouring. Like what in the heck? Contouring. Well, now that I'm 53, contouring makes a little more sense. Did I say 53? 52. I'm aging myself already. How is that? It's the memory thing. You start forgetting your age. Usually you forget in the wrong direction though. So for contouring, I'm just going to use this little two-sided brush. And I have the Cali Contour by Smashbox. I think this was a little more pricey, but the great thing about this is that it's got everything that you need in it. So it's got a bunch of different contours, highlights. It's even got a blush over here that I do use sometimes, depending on what color story I'm going with. So for contouring, I have this little bit of extra, I don't know, bulge or whatever right here. So I'll contour that just a little bit. I'll go in with the darkest color and just kind of try to make a straighter line in my jaw so that I don't have that weird little stick out. And that helps. Again, dark colors recede and light colors bring out. So we want to recede this little smush right here. If you guys have what you consider jowls that hang down, putting this dark color on the edge of the jowls will help make that go away. I also have a very long face, so I want to bring my chin up. If you have a very round face, you might not want to do this, but I want to bring my chin up a little bit just to kind of round out my face just a little bit. So for that I just used the darkest little contour shade in here. And now I'm going to do some actual bronzing. So I'm just going to use the bronzer shade in here. And I'm going to go up here, just where the sun would hit you. You want to bronze a little bit. And then highlight where you feel like you need a little bit of highlight. I'm using the matte highlighter shade. That's one thing I really like about this palette, is it has the matte highlighter shade, which I can put right there because I don't want that to be super shiny, but I do want to highlight it a little bit. And then they have the shinier highlighter that you can put up here if you want. And you might want to put some bronzer. Here's another thing. When we were young, you would suck it in and try to highlight in that hollow. Now that we're a little bit older, we need to go above that. So if you suck it in and you want contour, you go above that little hollow. Don't put it in the hollow. That will just bring your face down. And we definitely are not trying to bring our face down. So we want to go above the hollow. So if you're over 50 and you're still putting your contour or bronzer in your hollow, try going up a little bit and see if it makes you feel a little more lifted. And then we're going to go in with some blush. I think today I'm going to use a cream blush. This is Glossier. These are I think they're called Cloud Paints. And I really like these because they give me a cleaner look without all the powdery. So again, when we were younger, we were told to put apples of our cheeks. If you're over 50, do not do the apples of your cheeks. That is not going to work. and it's just going to make your face look funny and droopy, which is not what we want right now. So with these cloud paints, just put a little bit on your fingers and go on or above this cheekbone right here. So you don't want to go down here in the apple. You want to go up here and angle up. And you just tap these. Tap it in. I'm going to do this side. And you just keep tapping until you get the pigment that you want. And again, you could go back into it if you wanted more. If you were going out and you want a little bit darker of a blush look, then you could do that. I'm not going out, but I am filming, so I probably put on a little bit darker than I normally would. And then I'm going to take a fluffy brush. I'm just going to kind of blend. You don't want to look like Neapolitan ice cream with a stripe of highlighter, a stripe of blush, and a stripe of bronzer. That is not cute. So you want to sort of blend these all together so they're more like an ombre. So they go, you know, light to dark, but without the obvious line there in between. All right, so I think we're blended out there. Next, we are going to do some powder. Now, there's a couple different kinds of powder. So powder's not all the same. You don't just take the same powder and put it all over your whole face, because that does not always work. If you want to set your under eyes, I love this little IT brush that's got two sides, because now that I've messed around with my makeup, I might have some fallout and stuff under here. So I can use this little end and I just brush under there. Make sure everything's cleaned up. And I have this tiny little Charlotte Tilbury that I like for setting my under eyes. Again, I got it for cheap in the mini section of Sephora because you only use a tiny bit of it. So I use the other end of the IT brush, get in there, tap it, and then again, if you have loose under eyes, if you sweep, you're just gonna sweep those crinkles in. So press and press toward the outside. Press, 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 press. And do the same thing on the other side. Press, press, press. And then if you have a little extra, then you can do just a light, like a barely hold it and light sweep under there just to make sure you don't have any extras left over. And that's all you do for your under eyes. You don't want a ton of powder under there. I know some of the young people, you'll see they do what they call baking, where they put a ton of powder on and then they wipe off the excess. That does not work for older skin. Don't try that. It just makes you look cakey and super, super powdery. All right, so that's under eye setting powder. Then we have face setting powder, which you only need if you have oily skin, or like some people, if you have combo skin, you have the oily T-zone, you'll want to set just your T-zone. You don't necessarily have to set your whole face. There's a couple I like for that. I do have the IT by Pores powder, which I got on sale, but also fabulous is this Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This stuff is just as good as this, and it's a whole lot cheaper. I have it in two colors. One is the banana color. It's got a little bit of a yellow tint to it. And then the other one is the translucent. Now, these, depending on how you use them, you could use them for a setting powder and a finishing powder, which is why I got two different colors. So I could use it for both. But today, I'm going to go ahead and use the banana color just for setting. And then we'll use something else So fluffy brush, tap it off, and then just set your T-zone, or wherever you feel like you have oily skin that you feel like is going to break through, or really bad pores that you feel like you need to get rid of. All right, so we are set there. And now we're going to do finishing. Finishing powder is just something to bring everything together and give you that all over glow that you want. We're going to use Milani Prep Set and Go for that. This is the translucent, but it also comes in other colors. The biggest, fluffiest brush you have, tap it off, and this goes everywhere. Except I don't go under my eyes again because I already got that where I wanted it. And I do my lips last because I don't want to get powder all over my lips. All right, depending on what lipstick you're going to use, if you still have the City Lips on here, which mine is still sticky, you might want to wipe it off just because it'll help your lipstick stay put. Lip liner is necessary if your lips tend to bleed because you have fine lines, or if you want to create a different shape from your lips. Today I'm going to use this is Prestige. Honestly, I don't even know where I got it. This is Prestige lip liner. You can use any liner. Honestly, I haven't noticed that big of a difference. I mean, some of them are more creamy and they go on nicer, but I haven't noticed a huge difference. And I don't really have to line my lips, but I'm going to today just to. If you want to make your lips bigger, then you can overline them so you line just on the outside, but just do it in the center and right here underneath. Don't go all the way out, that just makes you look funky. I can't stand it when people do that with their lip liner. Just go a little bit here and then follow your natural line the rest of the way. And I do not line all the way into the corners because my corners tend to get funky, and to me it just makes it look worse. So I don't line all the way to the corners. And then today I'm using Maybelline Lifter Gloss. It's just like a highly pigmented gloss, and it gives you a little more of a plump. And I am not going out today, and I will not be wearing a mask, so I'm not worrying about the staying power. If you are going out and you are wearing a mask, it doesn't mean you can't do lips. It just means that you need to choose one with a little more staying power. And they come in all different price points. I have one over here by NYX. This NYX one, like once you put it on, it doesn't move. And also I have ordered from Ulta but have not received yet the, oh, is it Revlon? I think it's Revlon. It's the silk. When I get it, I'll show you guys, because supposedly that one doesn't move either. So when I get it, I will let you know if it moves on me. So that is our finished face. I am ready for filming my video once I fix my hair. Y'all don't need to hang around for that. It's not too bad. A little touching up and it'll be ready to go. So that is a full face of makeup on a 52-year-old woman. Hopefully you learned a couple things and saw a couple techniques, but mostly hopefully you just witnessed me being me, and knowing that just because you're over 50 doesn't mean you can't learn something new. Doesn't mean you can't start playing with makeup, and doesn't mean that you can't put your best face forward. I hope you enjoyed this really long and really chatty Get Ready with me, and I hope to see you again soon. I will be back to tell you guys what else is going on and what other products I try, and update you on my anti-aging journey. Bye guys.